door is in there. Oh, that's fucking recording as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh shit.
First. Oh yeah, we haven't been in here. I was thinking, why are those levels so low?
The first sort of kick off for the new thing is just us like throwing water over everything.
Just dropping stuff. Adjusting microphones.
As we go.
Here we are.
I'm going for non-alcoholic vodka.
Cheers.
Cheers, lad.
Hello. Welcome back. Here we are.
Yep.
It's been a while.
It's actually been so long I can't remember. Well,
Yeah.
last time we were in here, I remember it being winter and cold.
Well, we've never been in here.
Nope. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mind's blown. Yeah?
That's so tricky. I was like thinking we were against that back wall out there, but that we weren't. It's a totally different room.
Completely different. We've moved around a lot. We're like that. We're like gypsies of the podcast world. Moving around a lot and just kind of butchering our way through life.
But jealous of owning a caravan.
Yeah. But neither of us have a mobile home.
Anyway,
Anyway, this is the MD Vodcast. We're back. It's it's taken us the guts of an hour and a half to work out how to plug two microphones into. I mean, I feel like we learnt this the last time and didn't write it down.
well, in fairness, oh no.
Okay, not again. Where is that fly come from? Seriously. Anyway, so we are joined this week by this huge spot on my nose, which I'm really aware of. And I was out for I don't know what I was doing. I was going for a cycle or something, and I looked down and I could see it, and I was like, "Is that my?" And I touched it. I was like, "That is literally."
Did you
was
touch
so
it?
big.
Did you touch it
that
like
I
instantly?
could
Your
see
eyes
it.
started watering?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my god!" It's been painful all day. There's part of me was going to try and sit on that side actually this time.
It's coming right for
But
us.
then I thought, no, I can't do that. So anyway, how are you, dude?
I'm all right. I'm good. I felt like what energy I did have before we started this has slowly, but Adobe Audition has slowly sucked it out of me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It does feel like it. You sit down, you're like, right, set this room up,
Yeah,
hit those mics, get Adobe Audition, and we're like, what are we? And before you know it, we're sitting watching a tutorial on how to use Adobe Audition.
we've got that guy some sweet monetizing money.
yeah.
I know we spent a lot of time like working out like how we wanted this to look, and we were like, you know what, we'll do something different. And then there was like, oh, then we played around with like where we are. There's a couple of different like rooms. So like we were thinking, oh, we'll try a couple of different corners. We played with that, and then we were like, okay, right, let's just go and we'll settle with what we're settled on. Pretty happy. And then but then I think, in fairness, like every time we do a podcast, do you not think that we always run into something?
Yeah. Like, I'm just thinking, all right, I know it's keeping us cool.
Oh yeah,
Should
yeah,
that fan be off?
probably.
You know? What do you think? That's better.
It sounds
That's
like
a real Gronk move right there. The boys at the Daily Talk Show would be having a field day at that fan in the background.
I didn't even notice it was
Just-
actually. No, I noticed.
I
it
was
off.
looking at the levels going, why is that continual... Oh,
Oh, yeah,
yes, because
okay.
some dick left a fan on in the background.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's been a pretty mad few months. A lot has happened. A lot has gone on.
Mm-hmm.
And genuinely just forgot. It wasn't until a couple of weeks back. We were like, didn't we do a podcast?
No, well, yeah, because it started by holiday season came. You went away for 3 years.
Yeah, 3 months. Just under. Just under 3 years.
You were away for what, 3 weeks, and I texted you like midway through. I was like, "Are you due back anytime soon?" It felt like you were away for pretty much ever.
It was, yeah. It was a very long time. I went to California with the family. Long time coming, that holiday.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Really,
It looked
like,
amazing.
yeah, it was really, really good. We have been planning it like for a long time. See, my daughter had like an illness that basically just stopped her from being too far away from hospital. So for a few years we couldn't really go anywhere. We did Center Parks just before this thing happened, and then she was fine. But so it was about 2.5 years that we couldn't really go very far. So when we got a year and a half all clear that we could go, then we were like, just book it now. So we just booked flights to the States for all of us. And we're like, let's just do it. And then we just sort of plotted out a whole route with Airbnbs and did 3 weeks around California.
It was it looked pretty good because the whole time it was pretty rainy here, and the furthest I went was Carrickfergus. So
Good.
yeah, it was not crap.
Not making over the lawn or anything.
No, not brave enough. Didn't have injections. Oh god.
So yeah, 3 weeks in Cali. It was amazing. There was a lot of things surprised me. A lot of stuff disappointed me. Things I thought were going to be incredible, I was like, Do you know when people like really blow something out of proportion? And an example of that is Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway. Right?
A fly.
If I wish I could be a fly right now, so I could hunt that fly down and kill it.
Jeez.
You know, do you ever get like that? You're just like, if I was another fly,
yeah, like
I'd absolutely smash you.
The funny
right
thing
now.
is, it was out there the whole time we were setting up, and the minute we start doing this, it's in just to annoy us.
It can probably smell the sweat.
Yeah,
So it's like those two guys have been clearly trying to plug a mic in for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they were sweating profusely. Anyway, so yeah, man, we did that in Highway 1.
My dad's done it and said it's pretty busy.
Yeah, this wasn't. Well, we were doing it at a weird time. You were just before school holidays, which was kind of cool. But the main thing I found was just it was just a bit underwhelming. It was very cool, but
Yeah,
I've done drives in Ireland that are equally as good,
yeah.
if not better.
Because we got into a conversation, me and Lindsay were talking, and it was a guy I know who went away to like Thailand and stuff like this here, and he's from here but lived in like Norwich or somewhere like really uninspiring. I don't know, like I want to say
No
Norwich.
offense to everyone who lives in Norwich.
So far I've slagged off Lauren and Norwich, but do you know what I mean? Like somewhere that was just anyway, and he took himself off for like pretty much 18 months, did like Australia, Thailand, Dubai, like all the places you do, and then came back and got really like quite depressed about being back back to where he was. And then one of the guys that I know said, well, why don't you come and you can stay with me over here, just change the scenery a bit. And he got a job and stuff like that. And then he went and did the Wild Atlantic Way, and he said it was better than anywhere that he was in the rest of the world. Like where all the places that he had been, he said the Wild Atlantic Way. So now he just bases himself here and just goes and explores Ireland.
Yeah, totally.
But I know like I've lived on this island like my whole life, so I definitely take it for granted. I mean, I did that coast road up while the Open was on. I went up to like Cushendall, like up that way. And like that road is just
it is cool,
mesmerizing.
So
like.
Imagine that road. That's like the Antrim Coast Road.
Yes,
imagine that road, right? If you had, I know, a 200-foot drop. Imagine how much more epic that drive would be. I think people don't realize when they drive that road, just because it's at sea level, that it's a stunning drive. And just because you drive along and you're like so close to the water that you just sort of go, meh.
Yeah.
It's just a lane next to the road. I love that drive. Like I've cycled that a few times. Well,
Oh, really?
It's amazing. It is really, really cool.
Well, we did it when the Open was on, so it was full of like taxis and like buses. Trying to go round the wee windy bits, like coach loads of people.
Right next to the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, so it looked pretty sketchy, but like it was real nice. And where we stopped was like, then I was like, I just need to get out and do more of this. Yeah. I don't need to worry so much about like trying to get away, because we would go to America normally every year, but like haven't in the last wee while. And then just like, well, there's nice places here, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to do that Wild Atlantic Way for so long. We did it about 8 years ago. And we did, a whole bunch of us took surfboards. We did like 2 weeks down that coast.
Did you do it like a motorhome or something?
No, we just did it with...
My friend did that.
Like 8 pound tents.
My friend has a Type 2 camper, and he did...
that would be cool.
He did, so we got married, him and two friends, they all own Type 2, of course they do.
Yeah.
Own Type 2, probably married in a TP. But he got like in a Type 2, and they did the whole Wild Atlantic Way for his honeymoon.
That's cool.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That'd be unreal.
I think it's definitely become more of a thing. That fly, all right? Not to harp on about that fly, but if it's being picked up in the mics and you're listening to this, it's gonna sound like we're doing this out in the sun in like Nigeria or something, and it's just flies flying around.
Then like it goes back to that thing I was saying. Like I mean.
Look at it, little shit, just sitting on the light going.
It's just looking, going like no one's listening to this.
Yeah.
Like it's just looking at it. But then there's the funny thing. The guy
knows. It's like, he's probably going, you'll fuck it some way. You'll not plug something in.
This is what my point was. Like, do you not think every time, like, I mean, we do this or we do anything, there it is, just teasing me. It's, this shit always happens.
Yeah.
Like even
it should be easier. It should be much easier.
Okay.
To do a podcast than it is, especially because it's like in our head, this whole thing is supposed to be like a break from the other
Yeah,
shit
it's
that we
supposed to
do.
like
So it's
relax chat.
Let's just kick back, have a bit of a chat, record some audio, maybe film a bit of it, you know?
We
and
always
it's more
la-
stressful than anything we do.
So we always end up laughing. We always laugh at the start when the thing's happening, and then as it goes on, you can kind of, it gets gritted teeth, and we're kind of sort of save face. For example, Dill phoned me one day and was like, dude, I could really do with your help. And we're going to film a video with, we're in a car, okay? And it was an electric car, and he was
Hold
like,
on, we were doing 2 jobs.
that's
So
right, sorry.
I had 2 jobs to do. I was trying to merge the 2 together, and I needed someone to help me shoot it. So I was like, hello, Mr. Hill.
Okay.
Hop in this car with me, fella.
Should have been my first warning. Whenever he said, this car only goes so far, we'll need to charge it, right?
So for context, it's an electric car.
Yeah.
I was doing a job about, doing some videos about electric cars. I'm no car expert.
Okay, so within the first 30 minutes, we ended up in a garden centre.
Which seems irrelevant. But the garden centre had the charge
It had
point.
a charging point, okay?
That's why we were there.
So we ended up in a charging, like waiting on this thing to happen. We went in, we got something, we got coffee. That was fine. We got out. The thing had charged pretty much 1%, but whatever.
In an hour.
Yeah, we did. We sat for an hour. And then, right, and then we went from there. And you know they were talking about like that Antrim Coast Road where it's all nice and beautiful? We'll come inland and we're in pretty much, I've never been there before in my entire life. And to get to it, the sat-nav on the car took us, not the main road, take a right and you're there. It took us, if you want to go through a few people's back garden, single track road the whole way there, let's do that. So we're like panicking, we're running out of charge. We get to the place to do the first job, and that was all fine. We did that.
But when we rocked up, right? So the car had like a max of something like 200 kilometers, which isn't a lot. Cool car, not a lot of mileage. By the time we got out there and pulled into the sticks, the middle of nowhere, we rocked up at 28k left on the thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, unless you have like a little winder,
we're not
pushing this car
we're not getting
back.
out of here.
So we had to go. We're with this like adventure center, place called Todd's Leap, and we were like, we're there to go down. Basically, I was going down a slide and making a video about it, and rocked up there and said to the guys, look, I know this is a bit odd. It's a very first world problem, but I've a £40,000 car out there that I need to plug into your wall.
Yeah, could you unplug your fax machine and plug our car in? Because we can't get home.
It's gone flat.
Right? Okay, so now you're thinking, I know what's going to happen. This car's going to go flat and they're going to get stuck in a place called Todd's Leap.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
You'd be completely wrong.
Happen.
So what happened
We
is...
got a full charge. A full charge.
Yeah,
we got a full
eventually.
charge. Yeah.
Eventually. So what happened was we did the video, right? It came out pretty funny. We shot that there. We're delighted. We're starting to wrap up a wee bit. The guy wants to take us like on a sort of a tour of the place, and we're kind of talking to him. I have a box which had some props that we had to use sort of making this video, and I don't want to throw myself right in here, but I mean,
But you should though.
Okay, but like if I have car keys, I tend to keep them in my pocket. But whatever, that's me.
But I was going on a slide.
I tend to keep my car keys on me at all times. Anyway, doesn't matter. Dill lumped everything into this box.
Except my wallet and phone, which were in my pocket. I had a knife, wallet, and phone in my pocket. But for some reason, the car keys. I was like, where's the best place for those?
In a
that
box.
box.
In a box of just like random stuff.
Just
like
junk.
we're talking like, a bit of paper, a bag of crisps,
Some
a t-shirt,
jumpers,
like, it was random stuff. So he throws that in. I pick up all the stuff, which now this boot of this car had all my stuff in it. All Dill stuff in it.
All the camera gear.
All camera gear, drones, laptops, everything was in the boot of this
My
car.
change of clothes, because I was dressed
Like a walking advert.
The video was for Tato crisps, so I was in a Tato crisp t-shirt.
That was too small.
That was that was definitely labeled wrong. It was supposed to be a large.
It wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it was a medium at best.
It was a slim fit large.
Yeah, it was slim fit medium. All right, girls slim fit medium.
So I pick up this box. He's getting a lot, like just the finishing sort of like B-roll ones. I go back to the car. I open the boot of the car.
Keyless entry.
It's keyless entry.
Keyless
Yeah.
entry.
Sorry, should have pointed that out.
Yeah.
I go to the boot of the car. I open the boot. It opens. I'm like, Dill must have left this open.
Yeah.
Cool. I stuff all the stuff into the boot of the car. Close the boot. Car locks. Completely locked. Everything in it. I go down and continue to talk to Dill because I think, he's got the key in his pocket. This is fine.
I'm walking up the hill. Look at Mark.
Yeah, we're standing outside of this thing now. We've no like hoodies. We're just in what we've got on. That's it. And then we look at each other and think, "Have you got the key?"
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I thought you had the key. I was like, I don't have the key.
And I was like, it's in that box. that you
Like,
got."
of course.
Yeah,
It would be in the
it's in the box
almost.
with all the litter.
It's in the key box.
Yeah.
So
And he's like, the box is in the boot.
it's in the boot because I've just decided to pack up so we can get on because we were going to then film bits to do with this car. So now we're stuck
So
outside of this
we walk
car.
over and open the boot, like, oh, that's locked. So obviously the doors must be unlocked.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
no, the back door's locked. Front door must nothing.
Nothing.
And we did that thing where we tried every door 20 times and then kept coming back to it. Like, maybe if I go back to it in 10 minutes, it'll have changed its
Maybe if I
mind.
rub the back wheel just ever so slightly, you know what I mean, and knock it
Yeah.
once.
If I go like this,
just whisper to it.
this doesn't make sense, and then try open the door.
Please open. Please open.
Didn't. And then, of course, what made it hilarious was the people. There's a lot of people who work out there are, what's the polite way of saying it? But I try because it's not supposed to be mean. They're country folk.
Yeah,
Right?
they're
So they have a certain way about them, and they love cars out there.
just the type, you know, like who would every single person there would know how to change a clutch.
Yes, and we can't
And
even
we're
keep our keys.
and we're
in our
like
pocket.
looking around a car. Like I know how to detail a car, but if you asked me to do anything in an engine, I would definitely be on YouTube. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like they knew what to do
Yeah.
with everything.
Well,
Like,
when we pulled the car up, they had the bonnet straight. Like we'd hardly stopped the car. They had the bonnet open, and they were like, "Wait, what's this here? Why? What does it do that? What's that? What was this thing here?"
Guy was
And I
just like
boy, it was
smoking in it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it was
literally
so
in
funny.
the bonnet, and I was like, "I don't know. I think that's a battery. Perhaps it's an electric car." The only thing I can tell you about it is there's no exhaust.
and it's white.
And it's white. So they're having a yarn about that. So then, of course, when we locked it, they were all over it, straight around it, and they were like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And we were like, "Dude, we've just locked the car." Like, as far as I'm concerned, stupid system.
Yeah.
Get it locked. Like, because I understand keyless entry, you realize, opens the car up, but then it should never have locked with the keys still in the car.
But see, that's how mine works. Mine,
But surely-
whenever you go near, if I was to sit here now and hit my button and my car opened,
Yeah.
it realizes that not one
Yeah, no
door
one's opened anything.
So I'm locking again. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
But if anyone interacts with the car, it stays open. It
Yeah.
doesn't auto lock.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't work out what was
like,
happening. So he then's now on the phone. The guy that owned the place is now showing us around this like thing that he's got going on for Halloween or something like
Yeah,
that. There,
like
so
a
it's
big
like,
event.
and he takes us into like a workshop, and they're like, it's where they make all the props. Like it was impressive.
It was
Like,
very cool.
so where he's making all the props, like he's kind of showing us like around all these props. So you imagine we're kind of stressed out. I'm looking at Dylan thinking, he's trying to phone the people we got the car from, saying like we're stuck.
Yeah.
What can we do? And this guy's showing us like heads, like because it's for Halloween.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
like heads
that's right.
cut off and stuff.
Severed doll heads.
And he's like showing us that, and we're like getting really stressed
at one
out.
point he goes, "That's the box of dead dolls." And
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a big box of just dolls, like
And Dylan's on the phone going, "No, I'm locked out." What?
yeah, dead dolls. Hold on a second. No, they're not in the boot of the car. It's got nothing to do with that. And the thing is, like, I mean, I like a good panic, but in a situation like that, I kind of get to the point where I'm like, this is completely stupid. Like, literally, when Mark looked at me, and that was like, we had that interaction,
Yeah.
that exchange of no words, where we both looked at each other, and we knew, you know, I looked at him, he looked at me, and we knew we'd fucked it.
Yeah.
You know, we were
again,
We've done it here.
it could only
We've completely
be.
done it.
It was that time. It was that bit where it was. I knew that this could only happen on a day out with you.
Yeah, and we were the next part of the day was film this car, which is why we had it with us.
Yeah.
So after we walked around, looked at loads of severed doll heads and loads of other weird shit that I don't think I'll ever get out of my head. And we got all these guys away from the car who were saying things like,
They were like,
"Oh, we'll just break the windows." And I was like, "Don't be,
yeah.
That's a $40,000 car. Don't break the windows."
And he goes, the guy was like out there, like, how much do you want into it?
yeah.
Not as much as you.
I'd throw a brick through it.
Not as much as you want to put a brick through the window. Please stop. But then he was like, so then the guy had me, like, at this point then, Dylan was still on the phone, and this guy had me in his car, testing out his keys. And we're like, what's going on? So then, anyway, long story short, well, it's not even a long story. It gets weirder.
It doesn't get short.
It doesn't get short.
Just a long story.
So what happened then was pretty much that's us, right? We're not getting back in this car. He spoke to the guys and like, we're going to have to drive.
Bear in mind, sorry, the guys who own the car are in Dublin.
The spur key is in
they
Dublin.
They're like in an electric car. They're about 300 hours drive from where we were. In a regular car, maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
But
So
like they're far away, so it's not just like you'll bounce the keys up.
yeah, we couldn't just nip home and get keys or whatever. So like, we're like, right, okay. They were like, we'll drive the keys up to you. We're going to drop them off to Dylan. That night, so we were like, okay, right now we've just got to get home. So next part of this is, I do have all this on video. I will put this together at some point,
Yeah.
so you will see it. But the next part is the guy then who runs the place quite nicely said, look, I'll drop you to a bus station and we can get the bus back to Belfast. Right.
This is after I looked at the bus timetable and was like, but there's only a bus every 2 hours. And then, of course, all these guys looked at me like, are you on the spectrum? Because look at the timetable. I'm like, oh, I'm just reading it wrong.
Yeah.
It was a day of user error on our behalf.
So anyway, he drove us down to like a bus stop. So imagine like it's just nothing really, and then a bus stop essentially, and we were sitting. That's the only way I can put it.
Yeah, we did. That was
so then we sat
in the middle of nowhere, Ballygawley.
Was it Ballygawley?
Ballygawley.
We were sitting there right at a bus stop, okay, and there was we were like, we have no money, like we have nothing. We are two townies with Apple Pay. That's all we've got. Like, how are we getting on this bus?
I had a Monzo card.
Yeah,
with me. That's
and
what
I had Apple Pay. That's all we had. So we had not even change in our pocket. Right.
Yeah.
Actually, how are we getting on this bus? We should have asked the dude that dropped us down to Lens of 10.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But this girl turned around who was just got off a bus and was waiting on our lift. It's like, I have this all day ticket. You can use it to go wherever you want. That's one ticket. We're like, oh, thanks
Which
very much.
I actually think made things more confusing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we only would have had the problem where we tried to buy a bus ticket on cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
But now we have one ticket.
Now we've got one
not
ticket.
Not really a great excuse.
So the bus driver's like, well, how'd you get that? Anyway, so we then got on the bus and said to this bus driver, look, we've been completely stranded. We're locked out.
No, but hold on. The first bit was when I hopped on, I said to him, do you take card? Because I mean, it is 2019.
Before we even got on the bus, it was the dude listening. Do you ever see get on a bus? Do you ever get on a bus? This story sounds like we're making this up, but it's really not. There was like this dude at the bus stop, and he thought he had his phone, like he had a radio on, but he thought he had his headphones plugged in, but they weren't plugged in.
They definitely weren't.
But we were that tired and sort of like would realize the error of what's happening, that we're now having to get on a bus. But you know when you just like lose it, and I just couldn't. I couldn't stop laughing.
He was sitting here. And I couldn't stop. I just looked at him, and I was just watching.
But he just kept looking at his phone, like wonder why the volume wasn't coming. Because kept getting louder.
He kept turning it up. Yeah, we were like, that's not plugged in, fella.
Man.
And he was just like a man in his late 60s, early 70s. Like, you know, it was like a Sony MP3 player with radio somehow.
But he had big headphones on, like not even like we discreet ones. He had like the big headphones on. And then he was like, honestly, it's just like, do you know, just one of those, you've all been in that situation where like, you definitely shouldn't be laughing. And then like this, like DOE drain, drain vacuum lorry appeared, and this guy got out, and like, do you know ever see Breaking Bad when they're making meth? Like those suits, he had one of those on, but the hood up, like, and the full suit on, and he jumped out of the front seat and just like walked. Like flipping Igor from Adam's Family or whatever.
Yeah, just like rolled out of a car.
Just pulled up, and then he just got into his car and drove home with like the full suit on. Like he is honestly.
And as that happened, there was like a young girl who'd picked someone up from this bus stop who was trying to drive out, and she drove out, looked at the two of us at the bus stop, just dying with laughter at the man next to us, and then she saw this like heroin freaking manufacturer just
Walter
fall
White
out of a
just getting out of a flipping lorry.
She saw him walk out, and he kind of walked across the road like something from a zombie film over to his car.
Yeah.
She looked at him, looked at us. We were laughing. She laughed. Then she stalled her car.
I think she just forgot to drive at that point.
And then her car started rolling backwards down the stairs, but very slowly towards the car behind her. And she was starting to panic. And we were looking around going, zombie, woman running backwards, mental guy with headphones on.
With wagon wheel.
Yeah. We were like, two of us are going, we're going to wake up soon, and this will be a dream we both shared.
At that point, if one of us had to put her hand on her phone, went, oh, I've got the key here. It would have been welcomed. Like, it wouldn't even have been annoying. But anyway, so we then had to get on the bus and beg this bus driver, like, you know, we have no money. Can we just get on a bus?
But I got on the bus, and I don't know. I come back from the States where everyone accepts card, and I've been to London a few times recently. Everyone accepts card. Northern Ireland, you try to buy anything with card, and everyone's like, it's not our policy to accept card. And I get, it's my policy
heard of a tax man?
To get a free friggin' trip then. So I get on the bus, and I said to the bus driver, I'm really sorry, do you accept card? And then he goes, no. That was his answer.
Yeah.
No. And I went, okay, we only have card.
Yeah.
And he went, sorry, boys. And then I said, okay, well, we're getting on the bus. So what do you want to do? And then the two of us just looked at him.
Yeah.
And he was like, eventually he said, well, look, where are you going to? We're like, Belfast. And then we said, like, we got stranded with a car problem. We didn't tell him what it was. And we basically can't get back to where we need to go. He felt a bit bad for us, let us on the bus. and said, when you get to Belfast, will you
Promise?
Would you just promise you'll pay? And I was like, yeah, bro, we got you. And shit, when we got to Belfast, he watched us.
Oh, he did, yeah.
He was panicking, like, because
I'm sure it looked really dodgy because I really needed to pee like halfway through that journey. And like as soon as we got off the bus, you just went that way and I went that way. I'm sure he was like,
oh shit, which one do I follow?
Dear me.
Like, dude, it's £9 on the bus, chili beans. Like,
Just I run in the toilet and that guy in that friggin' suit's just there.
Yeah.
Igor.
Just standing at the urinal.
Yeah.
Well, he's back to the urinal.
Yeah.
But then he also didn't really clarify that Belfast to get off at. So he was like, when we get to the station, would you jump off and get the money? And I went,
but that's the other bit. Whenever we got on that friggin' bus, we were like, oh, sweet, that's us. We're going back to Belfast here. He stopped at every bus stop.
Yeah.
We got on a bus like 4 o'clock. It was like 5 to 6 by the time we actually got to Belfast. I was like,
it was painful. It was.
And
And
then
I was in a fucking Tato t-shirt the whole time.
Yeah, he was in like a Tato t-shirt.
Tight Tato t-shirt.
Yeah.
I had to like permanently suck in the whole time. Just like a walking advert for Tato. I mean, that's why we started to think they had something to do with this.
Yeah, they sabotaged
because they
us.
basically had me in this t-shirt walking around like one of those guys that has a sign walk. You know the thing, a sign backpack, you just walk about.
And then I had to get on the bus to Belfast, then the bus home. I tried to tell this story to my wife. She didn't believe me at the first third. She was like, you said you'd be home at this time. It sounded like that story, like we were like making up like a weird stag party story.
Yeah, it felt a bit like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Yeah.
It was that kind of bit, Mark and Dill try just to get home.
Do you know what the story is? So like, I know you've just sat and listened to it all, but like when I was trying to tell Lindsay what happened, it was so unbelievable. All I could tell her was what I needed to happen next. I was like, Dylan's getting the key and I'm going to have to drive him back up and get that car. That was it. So I was like, she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, yeah, like they're going to drink tomorrow night. We're going to have to drive back up because my drone and everything's in the Villa car. I'm going to have to, let's just hope that car doesn't get broken into. Right. Oh, if it gets broken, it'll be the first car in 40 years. And then they were like, you need to be up here because there's like a gate. And we got there and there was like zero gates.
Literally, like you could have just lifted the car.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Thank God all your shit was in it as well. You would have had no reason to want to go back.
No.
Like 2 days later, we had to drive back up.
Yeah.
They posted the key to my house.
So it's like a free...
Actually, it gets more mad.
Did they post it?
There's a dude, the guys who I was doing a video with, they sent one of their team up and they were like, right, we're going to drive up. So they brought me the key up that night or like the next night or something. Anyway, when we eventually picked the car up, I had a full charge. It was great. Anyway, a couple of days later, they changed the car because I was doing like a couple of different electric cars. I don't know if I told you this bit. They were doing a couple of different cars. So at some point during this week, they swapped the car. And they had to drive the second car up from Dublin up to my house. And they were like, this dude's coming up to deliver the car. And I had never met the guy. He's a nice guy, but I'd never met him, didn't know him at all. And he was like, I'm going to be a little bit late. And I was like, I know, it's all right, you're driving an electric vehicle. I understand.
There's a good garden centre.
Let me tell you where you can charge it, right? So he rocked up to my house it must have been around 10:30 at night.
Really well.
Okay.
And he still had to go home?
And it was pissing with rain. I mean, it was pissing it down. And we were just sitting there and I'm like, where is this dude? Like, I didn't really care what time it was or anything. And we just hear this on our door. Pam was like, who's that? I'm like, that's obviously the bro with the car.
With the freaking suit? He found you. Just you home.
The bus driver. You didn't give me enough. You short tip.
You don't even tip me for that.
I fucking opened the curtains and there's no joke. There's just this dude just standing in the pissing rain like at my door. Like someone in a horror film. And I was like this. And I wanted to just go and hide, but like it was just a dude standing there. I opened the door and he goes, all right? And I was like,
I left the office at 1 o'clock.
I charged his car 12 times. He was just him standing there and I went, are you the guy? And he was like, I'm the guy. Are you the guy? And I was like, yeah, do you want to come in? And he was like, yep. And then he walked in, but it was just one of those like stepped in, just water poured off all his clothes. And he's like, some drive. And I thought, I hope this is the right guy. Otherwise, I've just let a serial killer into my house.
Yeah.
Like there was no like ID. Just, are you the guy? I'm the guy. Hopped in. There he was, just standing in the house.
You never invited a vampire in?
Eventually we swapped. He gave me some keys. He didn't even. He took the keys for the Golf that I had, and got in it and left, and told me I had to download an app for the keys for the other car. How fucking mad is
Well,
that?
how handy would the app for the Golf
Yeah,
have been?
would have been bloody brilliant. So there you go.
Jeez.
So if you're making e-cars, let's talk about some remote keys on that. Apart from that, though, apart from that and the limited mileage, the e-cars were kind of a laugh to drive around in.
Would you say that's going to be hard to beat? Like, that's got to be
Yeah,
hard to beat. I think
yeah.
we could probably challenge it at some point, like, but that's going
Yeah.
to be, for me, that was
That's-
up there.
It's up there on top of when I got my car stuck on a wall.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was actually for this.
Yeah, we were filming a
first,
podcast.
The first step. Did we even mention that?
It was the first ever time we did a walk and... No, it wasn't a walk and talk. Was it a
No,
walk and talk? It
no.
was-
The first ever time we did the second ever vodcast. If you go back and watch, it's actually filmed in my house randomly, in where I would
Oh.
work. And what we decided to do was do like it was whenever we were trying to do it for like Instagram TV, and we were trying to do it for all different
You only
platforms.
overcommitted.
We
Considering this situation,
yeah, you imagine
we
I was trying to plug
overcommitted.
mics in. We were trying to do it with 3 different angles on different platforms,
wasn't great.
and then we decided we were going to make an Instagram story because that's kind of how we met, and we were trying to explain that their story. But part of the thing was we drove to like a coffee place which was
Yeah.
shut, but Dale went to reverse his car and reversed it off a wall, and it kind of
Yeah.
like, if this is the wall, the car just got stuck like this on the, oh man.
I do know how to drive a vehicle. It's just it would seem like I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I think like you're like a bad omen for me in cars because every time I'm with you in a car, something goes wrong, and I always say I'm a very good driver. Yeah, every time I'm in the car with you, I'm always going, that's never happened before.
Are you
I've
like,
never done that before. And like
did you get
literally,
nervous?
no, but I feel like I do all the bad shit when you're in a car. Like, or actually anyone. Like I had Soarscape in a car with me one day and stopped in this little town, just hopped out.
Left
And
hand-
he hopped out. I didn't put a handbrake on. Car's running backwards. He's holding the car. The car's it's rolling. I feel fuck. There's me like jumping back in, trying to pull the handbrake out. And
Yeah.
he's looking at me like, "Are you stupid? What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I've never done that before, ever." So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, off the wall was pretty funny. Like, it was just that there.
The wall, that was mad because it was a moment. It was basically like there was like a raised bit and then there was like 2 different levels and I just kind of reversed off and
But his car's front wheel drive, so whenever the front wheels were off, so they couldn't get any traction to move.
Yeah.
So we had to try and get weight onto the front of the car to get it to move
Yeah.
back up. It was crazy.
it was
so
madness.
funny.
And it was that moment where the 2 of us looked at each other and we were like, how are we gonna push this car off this? And then just the 2 of us were standing at one point, just like looking at the car, just like trying to work out what was going on. Going, how has this happened? And then out of nowhere, we were like, it was like it was like a town,
Oh jeez.
and it had loads of like little side roads. And when we were standing scratching our head, out of nowhere, this like Chinese man just comes walking around the corner with a big like pot of noodles or something.
Yeah, like, and we were
Like
thinking,
like a big steaming
we were
pot
thinking,
of noodles.
oh, the cavalry, he'll know what to do. He looks
Yeah.
wise. He just like
Just smiled at us.
just smiled at us and just walked
walked
off.
off with his
He's like,
noodles.
all right, guys, enjoy that.
So there you go. Dude, that says 0 minutes on our card. Do you know what the scary thing is? Like,
This is
Like-
your job.
this is my, exactly. This is what I do. And I can, the thing is, I can do this when I'm doing it for a job. But the minute I try to do it for myself, just rookie mistakes.
I think it's just us.
Non-stop. I think it's you.
I think it is.
You're
it
a
could
bad
be.
omen.
It could be.
We'll sit
There's-
down one day and there'll be like someone, you know, one of those palm readers, and she'll go, the 2 of us will sit down, it'll be like we'll be at some crazy podcast party, you know?
Yeah, of
for
course.
everybody, and we'll be sitting there and they'll just
We'll
be
be
like,
hosting it.
yeah, and they'll be like, do you know when like they'll have like there'll be people doing all these things, they'll have these like little features and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they do a spray wall, you know, it'll be like an ice sculpture, maybe a flower wall, and then they'll
Yeah.
be like, just a palm reader, and she'll
Of
walk
course.
over to us and she'll just look at the 2 of us and she'll go, do you 2 know each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you work together? Well, we do some stuff.
Yes.
You know, like when they deal like the 2 devil cards
Yeah.
and they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
No.
But
never.
the both go
Yeah.
up in flames.
Yeah,
like, just-
yeah. She deals 2 cards. Gone. What's that? Fuck off. And
yeah.
we're like, what?
think-
What's happened?
Pretty much, like, you know, everyone says like they have like, you know, like they've got professional working relationships and stuff like that. I think ours is just summed up by just that look of
Yeah.
not again,
Yeah.
not again.
Did you... Where's the car? I don't know. I parked
Oh,
it by the
man.
beach and it's just like floating away.
Yep.
How's that happen? So there you go. Anyway, so yeah, it's been an interesting. I mean, that was a very small part of what's happened, but that's got us where we are. So it's been interesting. There's a load of stuff happening. I guess I always feel like I'm saying that. I got back from California and have taken a little bit of time off Instagram, give myself a bit of a break, reschedule what I'm doing, try to work out what the hell's happening, what the point of anything is, what's the point of life, all that sort of stuff. I think we've both been kind of quiet, but yeah, it's been interesting. It's been interesting.
I think it's good. Do a break every now and then. I think it recharges the batteries, I guess, or like gets you a wee bit of, I don't know, it lets you work out, get a bit of clarity, what was working, what isn't working, and if you're always trying to like, but again, that's only if you're really, like, that's your goal.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's good just to do it because you enjoy it, or stop doing it because you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it's healthy. But yeah, there's been loads.
So let's be bold.
Yeah.
This is season 2 of the MD Vodcast.
Yeah.
You know, what's the first season without 11 episodes?
But we recorded 16.
Yeah. So this is season 2 of the MD Vodcast. We're going to try to keep these around 40 minutes, because I don't know why. Just because it feels like that's a closer time to what people will listen to.
Yeah.
And we're going to do these. We're going to do them every week. You're not
Although, to be fair, I feel like while we've got this working, we should just work through the night and get them all done.
Hello, ladies. We are not going to be home for about a day.
Yep, that's us.
So we're going to bring these out every single week. We'll bring them out on the weekends, and we're going to do this whole season 2 in probably 11 episodes.
Yeah, well, we since we worked that other season out so strategically, we should probably just stick to the mold that we've sort of created there.
I think the way we worked the schedule of season 1, which was 1 week, 3 weeks, another week, and then skip 6 months, and then maybe do 2 in a week, and then forget what we were doing, and then do a vertical one. That seemed like a good way to start.
Yeah.
So we're thinking we're going to go from there, and then this time just try to have some sort of consistency.
And then I think we keep on saying we just want to do this because it gives us something different to do and something that we enjoy, and it's kind of relaxing and chatting. But this has been absolutely the most stressful night I've had this week.
Yeah. I be honest, I'm in quite a sweat.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I feel like I need a shower now. Not together.
Nope.
No, that'll never work.
Shower straight through the ceiling.
Two of us will be in my kitchen. Let's go. Out. Get the fuck. Anyway, we've been the MD Vodcast. He's been Mark. I thought that would flow better. I've been Dylan. Do you want to sign us out?
Yeah. See you next week. Bye. Let's go.
That works. That works. Let's go the fuck home. Right. Was any of that actually working? Imagine that was just like a preview.
Please don't even joke.
Like, this is the bit, right, where I'm always scared to hit stop. Like, I'm going to point out, do I hit the record button again, or do I hit stop?
Just maybe hit
I think stop. What do you think?
Go for it.
It's got to be stop.